Once again, this is the 7 laws of leadership. And although there's many laws, these are not the top or the only characteristics of a leader. These are the 7 that I thought would fit any up and growing leader. Once again, my name is Jomo Legins, and I'm going to go into a lot of my background, a lot of why I feel like I'm fit to give you guys a view on leadership, all right? He mentioned that I'm a former football player at the University of North Carolina. Any Tar Heels in the house? How about South Carolina? How about Gamecocks? How about How about East Carolina? East Carolina. All right? I only mention that because there's only one Carolina, guys. One Carolina, all right? There's not a South Carolina, East Carolina. When you see it printed on the chest, it says Carolina. There's only one Carolina, okay? All right, all right. So who am I? I'm a married man of 10 years in March to my lovely wife, Courtney Legins. As you can see on the picture right there also, I have played football at a D1 level. Why I say that? Because it takes a commitment to your craft to get to where you want to get to. Okay, that's kind of part of what we're going to cover today in terms of leadership. A lot of people want to play the role of leaders, but they don't put forth the effort to be a great leader. Also, I have 3 children, 2 boys and a baby girl. She gets away with about anything. I don't understand little girls, but she gets away about anything. That's my baby. Also, I do own 2 companies. I own what you call Jomo's Rhythm and Blues. It is a jazz club. All right, it's a jazz club where we also offer spoken word and karaoke. Who was there last night at the? All right, great. Who went to the ball game? Did y'all hear about the karaoke and the live band? All right. Who did not get an opportunity to do karaoke last night? All right, I am sorry. All right, I am sorry, okay? I wish we can come back tonight, but we can't. So hopefully, we can't do that. Hopefully in spring they'll invite us back. Maybe we'll come in the spring or something like that, okay? Also, as you can see right there, and JKL Print is a screen print and graphics business that I've owned for 13 years, where you have your graphics and your screen printing and all that good stuff. Anybody in graphic design, anybody in printing that want to get into that business, it's a wide open market, it's a very lucrative market, and you'll be successful if you do it right. At the very bottom right, you'll see there's a Bible right there. I do consider myself a man of God. I try to make sure that I follow, thank you. I try to make sure that I put everything in perspective. And when you're talking about leadership, you're going to have followers, but also you need to have someone that you're following, okay? Because without that, the right view and the right perspective on life, you can get lost. You get lost. All right, go ahead and turn with you since I can't see my slides. All right. So what is leadership? Y'all not going to really be able to see these, everybody's not going to be able to read it and everything. But the purpose of this presentation today is to challenge your views on leadership, okay? Perhaps you think that managers are leaders. Perhaps you think that business owners or entrepreneurs like myself are leaders. Perhaps you think that, I don't know, your supervisor at work, is a leader. All these may be true, however, does not make them an effective leader, okay? I'll give you a prime example, me with my business. And anyone to tell you that works for me, my main goal is making money, all right? When you come in there in the doors at the job, there's a specific task that you need to get done each day, all right? You need to be behind the bar if you're a bartender. I shouldn't come in there and you're in the dance floor doing karaoke, which has happened, all right? So you need to make sure you're in the right place. All right, so I said all that about owning the business and everything because me being in a leadership role, I have to also know how to lead my people, okay? Is what I was going to get to. Brandon, if you'll show them the 7 laws of leadership. So the 7 laws of leadership consist of character, personality, ability, knowledge, Confidence, that's your confidence and others' confidence, okay? That's well, we'll get into that. All right, experience and influence. Once again, these are not the only laws to leadership. And I'm going to ask you, are you ready for leadership? Okay? There's a handout that I'm going to give out later on, and it's basically just as a pre-assessment of where do you view yourself today as a leader. All right? Do you have a vision? Do you have a goal? And do you have a team? And the handout will go over that. All right, character. Hold up the character slide for me. All right, character. When we talk about character, who in here know what we're talking about in terms of character? All right, give me one. What's character?
The way people see you.
Okay, the way people see you.
Attributes that you may have.
The attributes.
Moral values.
Moral values. That's a big one.
The way you conduct yourself.
The way you conduct yourself.
Role model. Role model.
Role model. When I think of character, go ahead.
Who you are when no one's looking.
Excuse me?
Who you are when no one's looking.
That's right. That's right. That's a great one. When I think of character, I really think of what makes you internally. The internal morals or views that people look at you. Loyalty. All right. Are you trustworthy? Okay. Like you said, what are you doing? No one else is looking. On this slide right here, I thought was pretty funny. It's depicting me with a backdrop, looking like I'm in the office with a tie, and my boss is calling me, and I'm telling her that, look, I'm at work working hard, and in the background you can see I'm really at the beach. Okay, I'm really at the beach. All right, and so that's part of your character as a leader. You want to be able to trust leadership. You want to be able to trust what they say, what they're doing, even when you're not watching them. Okay, that's a big part of leadership. And just because you're not the one paying the checks does not mean that you're not in a leadership role. All right, you can be a co-worker leading other co-workers. You can be a supervisor leading employees. You can be a manager leading a supervisor. All right. All right, here we go. Personality is the next one. Once again, I like to ask y'all what you think when you think of personality. Personality. Anybody have any comments on personality? All right.
I think a lot of times the personality is based on your character.
Okay. All right. Based on your character. Your personality can be based on your character.
The type of person other people see you as.
The type of person other people see you as.
I think it's your ability to get along well with others.
Your ability to get along with others.
It's what makes you you. You know, if you've got humor, if you're a happy person, if you're a sad person.
What makes you you? Great, great. When I think of personality, I think of the external views that people see you as, okay? So character is internal, right? People don't have to see you to have good character. But your external, being your personality, do you smile? Do you smile? You know, we went to a conference and she said that, I forgot her name, I'm sorry, but she said a smile is the only language that everyone can interpret. The only language, okay? So just a simple smile every day, even if you don't want to smile, smile, okay? Because people receive you better when you smile, all right? And you don't want to give off the wrong impression. And always remember that sometimes your perspective, I think it was a conference on that, is your reality. I didn't mean that, not perspective, but your perception is reality. It was a workshop on that. I wanted to go, but I think we had to. Yeah, we had to do something else. Yeah. All right. So just make sure that you're working on your personality, okay? Let's go to the next one. Ability. I'm looking on time. 2:30. All right, your ability. If you look on the character that I kind of created right there, kind of hanging from a cliff, okay? And I think the words on it says almost there. All right. Your ability as a leader is very important. Do you believe that you can get the job done? It's simple as that. Do you have what you need to get the job done? I heard this saying before. It says success breeds success. And no one wants to be on a losing team. Okay, I think of LeBron whenever I say that, because LeBron changed from the Cavaliers to the Heat for a reason. All right? It wasn't that he wasn't getting paid enough money, because he was getting paid a lot of money. It wasn't that he didn't have, a good supporting cast, because his fans was awesome. The problem was just wasn't winning championships. All right? And he no longer wanted to be on a losing team. And so as a leader, if your followers, you remember when I said, are you a leader? You got to have a vision, goal, and team. If your team does not believe that you have the ability to lead them, you will lose them at some point. They may continue to follow you because of your title, okay? But titles doesn't make leaders any either. So just make sure that you have the ability to lead your team.
Could you say that one more time?
Which part?
In regards to being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Just because someone is following you. Say it again. I heard it, but I need to hear it again.
Okay. I may not say it the way that you heard it, but
I do not believe that you have the ability to lead a
yeah. If you don't have the ability to lead, all right, sometimes your team will lose the confidence in following you as a leader. Okay? Yeah, because sometimes they, if they don't see any kind of momentum, okay, which is another kind of a law of leadership, being a leader, you got to have momentum. You got to keep that ball going. Okay, if you feel like you stagnated, some people lose interest, all right? And not because they're trying to be funny, it's because that's how we are. We're human at the end of the day. And we want to see success. We want to see the ball rolling. Okay? All right, number 4 is knowledge. Knowledge. And I can pretty much do this whole presentation on knowledge. I mean, really. Show of hands, how many of y'all have read your code of conduct at school? That's great. All right, put your hands down. How many have read Robert's Rules? All right, not all of it, right? But you have just enough, right? All right, put your hands down. All right. How many have read your SGA guidelines and handbooks? That is awesome. Because knowledge is not about what you know, but knowing how to get what? The right answers. That's right. How do you go and get the right answers? Okay? So if I come and ask you, what's your name?
I'm Judy.
Judy. I say, Judy, how much money do we have in our budget to do spring fling? Let's just say you don't know the answer. Do you just...
If I don't know the answer, I will refer you to my treasurer.
There you go.
Who is well informed, who has reports
Good.
and documentation.
That is great. So as president of SGA, if an issue comes up about money, if she don't know the answer, who she should refer them to? The treasurer, okay? If you're in a meeting and things kind of all over the place, you know how y'all can come up with all these motions, right? Right? Whose job is it to... Good, right? So we need to make sure that as a leader, you have knowledge, okay? And I always like to talk about also, football is that's my thing, right? So I have many examples of football. Peyton Manning, probably the greatest quarterback I've seen, all right? But what makes Peyton Manning great? What makes him great? His knowledge of the game, all right? Peyton Manning knows what the defense is doing before they even call the checks, okay? He knows what the other team is doing. He knows what his receivers are doing. He knows what his running back and all of his linemen are doing. How great is that to be in a leadership role and know what's going on, right? And so if you know what's going on as a leader, it makes your job easy. And Peyton Manning is not the fastest. He does not have the strongest arm. I've seen him. What Peyton Manning has is knowledge of the game. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So if I had to have anything, it's knowledge, right? All right. So let's make sure we know we have knowledge. All right, confidence. Number 5 is confidence. All right, and I have not been reading all the definitions. The quality or state of being certain. All right, the confidence in yourself and also the confidence in others. Notice I didn't say that others had to have confidence in you. All right, as a leader, sometimes you got to have confidence in your team to get the job done. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them do it. You gave them this task. You gave them the assignment. Okay, now let them go do the job. Then when you go to your meeting, then bring it up. All right, if you want to bring it up as new business, old business, whatever, but have confidence with your team, okay, to get the job done. All right, so we're going to turn the slide to experience. Number 6 is experience. And I will read the top of this one. Experience is a kind of huge spider web of the finest silken thread suspended in the chamber of consciousness and catching every airborne particle in its tissue, by Henry James. And I'm going to read the definition. The accumulation of knowledge or skill that results from the direct participation in events or activities. All right, wow. Y'all don't know where my mind is at right now, right? That first definition probably lost some of y'all. Because you're not really, artistic the way I am, right? I try to put a spider web right here to give you an idea of all these ideas and all this stuff that happens in your life, just really being caught, okay, in your inner man, in your head, okay, and you using it whenever you need to, all right? But what I think of as experience is if you're not participating, all right, in functions in your group as SGA, all right, at some point you've all had an opportunity to lead in your SGA, right? Yes. All right, how many of your members are really participating? All right, that's where you're going to gain your experience at. All right, I heard something, someone say, what they say, if you see it, you will forget it. If you hear it, you will remember it. But only until you do it will you truly understand it. Okay? So just make sure you're putting your hands on things. Make sure you're doing things. All right? If just because your job description is not to dibble into the treasurer's job, talk to her on the side note. See what's going on so you can understand it. Remember, Peyton Manning knows everything, right?
Can you start from where you hear it?
Mm-hmm. When you hear it, you will remember it.
And what was the last one?
But only until you do it would you truly understand it.
I have a question.
Yes. Where you at? Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you said how, as president, you have to let your officers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not throwing anything out there. I'm just asking.
Mm-hmm.
What if you try to show your officers a new image or a new, because image is everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First image is everything. But if you try to show them a new path and they kind of stomp on you for trying to show them that new path because how you view them, everyone else is not going to view them the same. You get what I'm saying? So how does that go along with the communication level with the president as well as the officers communicating as far as experience?
Well, communication I was going to just touch on a little bit later. It's not part of my 7 laws, okay, but that is very important. And I think that's the most important part, really, is the communication part. But understand this, okay? No, you're fine. Everyone is different. We're all structured differently. Let's go back. Let me go back to what is leadership, if you don't mind, Braden. And I'm going to read this one because I think it's important. But to answer your question, what is leadership? All right, leadership requires structure, a complex system considered from the point of view of the whole rather than any single part, okay? And what that means is, like, when you think of structure of a building, what do you really see? You see the front, how pretty it looks on the outside, right? See the signage, right? McDonald's got the arc, all right? They add a little glow on it to make you, kind of come inside. But do you really see what's inside? You don't really see it, okay? In the building itself, it's made of electrical work, duct work for heat and air. It's made of concrete. It's made of glass. It's just made of so much. So to answer your question, when you're dealing with someone, just know they're made of more than just what they hear you say. Okay, they may see something in you that they may say, well, I don't believe in what she's saying. Or maybe it's not even about you. It may be something in their own personal life that make them say, well, I'm just going to do it this way because someone else told me to do it differently, and I'm just going to try my way and see how that works. It could just be a whole lot of things, okay? But just in terms of structure, I wish I would have said that earlier. is that just make sure, and this is the purpose of this workshop really, is making you, looking at yourself and saying, am I just a pretty face? Am I just a pretty face? Really, did I get voted just because of the way I look? Seriously, all right? Did I get voted just to satisfy the status quo? All right? And so a lot of these things should be looked at as challenges, even if you know that you deserve that role. Now it's time for you to work on your structure, okay? And that's why I'm telling you character, personality, ability, knowledge, experience, and number 7, 6 is 5 is confidence, 6 experience, and number 7 is influence. Once again, I can do a whole workshop just on influence. I don't believe anyone can be an effective leader without having influence. Okay? And we're going to read that definition right there. Influence, the capacity or power of persons or things to produce effects on others by intangible or indirect means. True leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. Okay? Influence must be earned. I'm going to tell y'all a little story about my football. Once again, leadership is not about titles. Okay? Once again, I'm challenging your views on what leadership looks like and what is leadership. And at the end result, I hope that you see yourself as a leader, because I have not covered, and I'm not going to, but whether a leader is born or whether they are made. Okay? Leave y'all up to that. I believe a leader can be both, but primarily they are made. All right? But we had a guy named Jeff Mad Dog Madden. All right? I'm 17, 18 years old going to college. All right? And let me first tell y'all that going to D1 college is just amazing, really. It's just, anybody ever been to Disney World? All right, well, for you who have not been to Disney World, maybe I say if you ever, I don't know, been to Carowinds, I don't know. But anyway, just the shock itself will wake you up. Marcus Jones, y'all probably remember this guy, 300 pounds, did a standing backflip right in front of us. We're freshmen. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see a 300-pound guy with muscles do a standing backflip. All right, this is how athletic these guys are. All right, but we go into camp, and the first person that we really see is this guy named Jeff Mad Dog Madden. All right, Jeff Mad Dog Madden is our strength and conditioning guy. He's this wide, really. He's a big guy, all muscle. All right, he's kind of short and stocky, and his beard, he has this beard. You ever seen Hulk Hogan's beard? And I never wondered why he never cut it. And I think he used it just to intimidate us. But his beard came down here, and he was just mean-looking guy. If you ever want to look at him, you look at Texas football. He's on the sideline with Mac Brown to this day. All right, he's a big guy. All right, but influence is what we're talking about. And you would think that Mac Brown was our leader because of his title. He's getting paid the most money. All right, he is the head coach. He's the face of the program. When we win, they interview him, and when we lose, they criticize him, right? To the outside eye, he is the leader. But within the program, Jeff Mad Dog Madden was the leader. And Matt Brown knew it. He knew it to the pulp that he took him with him when he left Carolina, took him to Texas. And everywhere he go, he takes Mad Dog. Because Mad Dog is the guy of influence. And we are influenced by fear, we're influenced by money, we're influenced by a lot of things. But why we was influenced by him? Because he was available. All right? Being a leader, you have to be available. If you're not available, you can't be a leader. You can't influence your team. How can you influence your team if you're not available? How many presidents do we have in here? All right, put your hand down. How many presidents have posted their office hours, if you have an office, outside your door? All right? So you posted your office hours when you're available, okay? So you will let everyone know that, look, I'm available for you. That's very important, y'all. Website, email, right? We had to make an appointment to see our head coach, and sometimes you wouldn't see him. But Jeff Mad Dog Madden, we did not fear him because of his size, because of the way he looked. Okay, we followed him and we was influenced him because he was available to us 7 days of the week. 7 days of the week. And I remember he told me this one time, okay, because I was kind of rugged, you know, grew up in Winston-Salem in the projects, and, you know, I didn't have any structure, all right? I just wanted to play football, all right? And I remember he told me one time, he said, if you ever want to get on the field, these are the things you need to do. And I heard him, I said, well, who are you to tell me what I need to do to get on the field? And he said to me, I sit at the same table as the rest of the coaches, okay? As the rest of the leaders of this program. And the guys that make the decision to put you on the field, that's my position coach, my special teams coach, and my head coach, they say they all listen to what I tell them. And when a man tells you that, okay, when a man tells you that, it's like you going to work and one of your coworkers have inside knowledge of how to move up the ladder, right? Right? And you already, you know, hey, I want to get to, you know, head manager or head position or whatever. You're going to try to do what you need to do to get up there. And he told us that. And we began to run faster. We began to work harder, lift more weights, all right? And as a result of that, we was the #1 defense in the country. #1 defense in the country, #5 team overall. And the only team beat us that year was who? Duke never beat us. Florida State. Florida State was the only team to beat us, and they won it all that year. And if it wasn't Florida State, I'm telling you now, we would. I have a ring. I have another ring on this finger, right? So if it wasn't Florida State, all right, how much time I have? About 10 minutes, let's wrap it up. 2 minutes. All right, are you a leader? We're going to skip past because I really want to give out this slide, okay? But turn to the behaviors part, Braden. Yeah, pass those out if you don't mind. One of each. All right, behaviors of a great leader. Now, these behaviors are verbs that give action, right, to what you need to do to become a better leader. All right? So the reason why listening, the reason why communication, empowering others or inspiring others was not part of my top or part of my 7 laws of communication is because these are very important. These should be done anyway. These are the actions to everything you need to be doing as a leader. And we're not going to go through each one of them once again. I can email it to you. But listen, put up this slide right here. Have anybody ever seen this right here? This is kind of one of my favorites. I've stole it from a previous workshop. I'm going to continue to use it. Anybody seen this Ting? This is the Chinese symbol for listen. And if you look at this real close, this looks like an ear, right? Your ears, your eyes, undivided attention, your heart. Okay? When they write stuff, it's the whole, you know, it tells them what to do. All right? When you're listening as a leader, make sure you're giving your team your undivided attention. Don't be wandering off. Sometimes I know people can just talk, like to hear themselves talking, okay? And sometimes you may wander off, all right? But just make sure that you're giving them your undivided attention. All right, that's your eyes are engaged. Your ears are listening, okay? Your heart is right there, okay? You have a little empathy maybe, okay? And so just make sure that you are practicing Ting. All right, I handed out a sheet. Well, first of all, do you see the one that I gave you? I said, are you a leader? The vision. Everyone has that. The vision, the mission, the goal, and the team, right? Also, this other one that I handed out, it has I am leadership at the top. Once again, this is to assess your position and where you are at now in your leadership role. If you fill out this form, it just moves you a little bit closer, all right, to having some of the things that you need, you know, in terms of being a leader.